Okay, so if you have a 2013 Ford F-150 or the 12th generation F-150 and you already have halo projector lights and you buy aftermarket lights, okay, a lot of them are going to come with only a 3-prong connector, which means they didn't have halo lights. And you have a 4-prong connector if you have halo lights in your truck. So what you're going to do, just like with most aftermarket lights and the other lights in your headlights, you are going to use the plugs, right? We reuse the plugs to go into the headlight with the parking light or driving light and the blinker. We're going to reuse this plug that's in your stock OEM headlight, and it's right next to a ballast, and it's this plug right here. And to get it out of your old headlight, I should have filmed it, but I did not. You are going to squeeze the sides together and push it in to the old headlight. And then there's 4 8mm screws that are on a little ballast box kind of that's attached to the back of your stock headlight. Unscrew those 4 screws and fish this connector out. It's going to have 4 wires connected to it. And this original connector had a 3-pin wire connector. And in that 3-pin wire connector was a black, which they had married both of the negatives from your high beam and your low beam into one wire, which is why there were not 4 wires in their connector and only 3. The blue wire is the power from your low beam. The red wire is the power from your high beam. So when you fish out your old connector, whether you want to like get fancy and take the pins out or just cut the wires off inside of your old light and leave some of the wire attached so that you can connect them to the new light as you convert them, you're going to want to look here in the back of the old connector on the stock light, and you've got little numbers in there if you don't know how to unpin your connector, and you just kind of cut the wires off and you're going to resolder them on. Position number 1, you see that tiny little number 1 there, which is this first wire? Position number 1 is the power wire to your low beam, okay, if you already have halo lights on your truck. Position number 2 would be the ground wire, which they connected into one, which is why there's only 3 pins on the new aftermarket headlight instead of 4. Pin number 3 is the positive wire to your high beam headlight, okay? And then over here you'll see number 4. That's the black wire. That's going to be the ground wire to the high beam headlight. So because they joined the ground wires, I just took out that pin and didn't use it, and it'll connect into your stock headlight just fine. So after taking the connectors off of my old headlights, the old light sockets, and putting them into the new headlights, and rewiring your 3-pin that comes on the new headlight to the 4-pin that goes into your old stock wiring harness, you're also going to have the DRLs that are going to be these 3 little lights right here, the LEDs, and the LEDs that are around the halos. And those come with 2 sets of these black wires, like it says here in these instructions. Okay? So one set of black wires through the resistor is coming from the LED around your halos, and the other set of black and white wires connected to the resistor is connected to your side marker, or your turn little parking light dummy wire, this thing. So you plug that into your parking light, and it should power your daytime running lights. Now, there's been a lot of people who are like, oh, it's got to be in drive and blah, 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 all this stuff for them to turn on. No, as long as the parking lights are on and you have your daytime running lights plugged into this little corner light right here, they should turn on with the parking lights, like no exceptions. Mine were not turning on, so I went through the troubleshooting steps and made sure everything was connected here, and it was connected fine, and I tested a light in the socket. So I turned on my headlights. Give me a second here. I turned on my parking light, and obviously I was getting power to my socket here, but on the other side, no power to those daytime running lights, okay? And this is where that dummy socket goes to be able to power those, the 3 lights you see there, and then also around the halos, that's an LED. So obviously they're not turning on, but I am getting power to that socket. So here's what I realized. Tested the socket on the truck, that's obviously working. So I have just an old like golf cart battery here, and I figured, okay, let me test and make sure that the actual lights in the headlight are working, the LEDs. So, try not to short it out. So yeah, clearly they're working. You can see the LEDs are on, the halos are on, and those are nice and bright. So they should be on when that parking light is on, and your car doesn't have to be driving or anything, but mine are not. So I'm obviously getting power to the socket, but these lights are not turning on. So the issue is actually just a little bit of bad manufacturing, which are pretty typical with aftermarket lights no matter how much you pay for them. So let's go look at that socket and show you what's up. If your DRLs on your aftermarket headlight are glitchy, not working, flashing, just being problematic, because if you're putting them in the parking light or the corner marker light, they should be on when the parking light is on. And you try to put it in the positive side over here, and there's no contact there on that opposite side of the connector. Okay, so you shove it in there and your light's not working. So some people are like, well, I flipped mine over and that helped and it turned on sometimes, or that worked. But if I flip this one over, now my positive side is here and the wire coming out is on the bottom. And if you look in the connector, if I insert it like that, then my wire on the bottom is still not touching anything metal. So I'm not getting any contact. So what I have to do is make it so that my positive wire that's coming out of the connector is actually going to touch the positive side of the prong. And right now it's wired so that no matter which way I turn this, I can't do that. So these don't come out of this connector. This thing is like a solid deal. So, and trim them and fold them to the opposite side, or to whatever the proper side is in your connector, and lay them down nice and flat. Make sure they touch the contacts, and all of your DRL problems are solved.